What's going on, everybody? Josh Engleman for Awesemo.com, and I am back with my NBA DFS contenders on DraftKings for Thursday, February 25th. Now be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you know when this and all of our other content goes live. Follow me on Twitter, at Josh Engleman, so you can get updates to these sim results as we get closer to lock. I'm on live before lock tonight, 6 p.m. Eastern time, so look for an update somewhere in that 5:30 to 6 o'clock range. Finally, let me know in the comments section who are your favorite plays on DraftKings for tonight's slate. We're rounding out the bottom of my top 10 with Shake Milton, Jamal Murray, De'Aaron Fox, Will Barton, and Joel Embiid on the outside looking in. Who will be my favorites, my top 5 plays for today? It's time to find out. Coming in number 5, we're going NIKOLA Jokic, center eligibility, 10,400, projected for 57. The goal is 58. He's in the optimal lineup 22% of the time. You guys know what you're getting out of Jokic, but let's hit the deets. 36 minutes, 28% usage, a 27, 12, and 8 baseline projection. Here's the biggie. 1.6 fantasy points per minute because taking on the Washington Wizards, huge pace up spot. They gain 4 possessions over their normal average. That's like 2.5 to 3 fantasy points for Jokic. That's what's separating him from Embiid in this spot. It's not that I don't like Embiid. He's one spot behind. Don't worry too much about the relative rank. I like them both. But for Jokic to be able to get a matchup against the Washington Wizards, it does not get any better than this. He smashed them recently. I see no reason why he won't do that again. He has the run of the place. That's what happens when you have 28% usage and you can have 8 assists. This guy does all of it, and I expect him to do it again. Great matchup. It doesn't get better than facing the Wizards in this sort of pace spot. You have to have Jokic tonight. But we're not done with Nuggets. Michael Porter Jr., number 4, small forward, power forward eligibility. I can hear you guys groaning right now. 6K, projected for 32. The goal is 43. Optimal lineup 23% of the time. I have him in for 30 minutes. It could easily be more. He played significantly more minutes the last time out, and they really are sort of happy with him when he's actually trying on defense, so hopefully today is one of those days. 1.08 FanDuel points per minute. Sorry, 1.08 DraftKings points per minute. Wrong video. You guys know the drill. 16 points, 8 boards, very little else, but again, he gets a huge benefit on the fact that he gets to play the Wizards in a huge pace-up spot. Michael Porter can get out and run a little bit, even better. There's not a ton of value on this slate. It's pretty much concentrated to the Knicks and nowhere else. So 6K for a guy with multi-position eligibility that can play 30 minutes today with a ceiling of higher and the ability to score in a more aggressive manner. I'm going straight back to Michael Porter Jr. Don't overreact to previous results. This guy is a fantastic play. The ownership is going to be there. So if you think that he's a little over-owned in GPPs, I understand it. But in cash games, you probably have to have your eye on him, at least right now. Speaking of lack of value, don't expect to see this name by the time we get to lock, but you have to see it now. NNAJI, power forward center eligibility, just 3,200. There's nowhere else to pay down today. Projected for 17. The goal is 33. He's in the optimal lineup 23% of the time. I have him playing 24 minutes, rather. About 0.7 fantasy points per minute. That same sort of pace up spot, but 9 points and 4 boards and a half an assist and a stock. I understand what this looks like. There is no one else available below 4K that I think is a viable value option. We are missing value aggressively across this entire slate. Now, as things open up, NNAJI is going to plummet. The moment that we can be a little bit more cost effective, he's the first guy that's going to go away because there's not really a huge ceiling here. But for right now, Najee unlocks the ability to get more of Jokic, more Embiid, more Fox, more Jamal Murray in this case. It's not something that I want to advocate for aggressively. And again, you'll see in the updates, he will not be third when we get to 6 p.m. tonight. But right now, he's a guy that you have to have your eye on because if you're trying to pay up somewhere else and go a little stars and scrubsy, he has to be a scrub. Now we're getting into some of the real value. Number 2, point guard, shooting guard eligibility for Derrick Rose. 4,600, projected for 29.5. The goal is 38. Optimal lineup 34% of the time. Knicks are going to be without Elfrid Payton today. My expectation is that Derrick Rose does not start. He maintains his usage with the second unit, and then he will close in a close game. So in that case, I'm giving him 28 minutes. I'm actually projecting him worse than his normal rates. 1.06 fantasy points per minute. 16.5 points, just under 5 assists. The real key here, though, 28 minutes for Derrick Rose at 4,600 is a bargain. He's going to be more expensive if Peyton happens to miss a little bit more time. I also think that there is potential for him to play a couple extra minutes over the 28. I don't want to go too crazy because I just don't know how Tibbs is going to use him, but obviously Tibbs has no problem running dudes into the ground. Excellent matchup against Sacramento. Not a ton of defense to be found against the Kings. This price tag's just not right, and you can use him at point guard and shooting guard, especially on a day where there's no value. But no matter what value shows up today, Derrick Rose will be in the top 10 contenders, bar none. And as you can see, separated pretty aggressively from NNAJI, 11% higher likelihood to be in the optimal. It's Derrick Rose Day, baby. Now, before we get to number one last reminder, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know when everything else goes live. Follow me right here at Josh Engleman on Twitter. You don't want to miss all of the updates that I have throughout the day. It's a good day for it. And I'll be on live before lock from 6 to 7:30, so you can get those updates while I'm live, or you can get them a little bit earlier by following me on Twitter. Let me know in the comment section, who is your favorite contender of mine today, and who is your least favorite contender? I think I have some thoughts on, I'm pretty sure I know who your least favorite contender is going to be, but I'm anxious to know who you really think. So give me your best, give me your worst, let me know in the comments. And finally, at number one, we got to go to Immanuel QUICKLEY. Just point guard eligibility, but only 4,100. He's projected for 31. The goal's 36. He's in the optimal lineup. Look at that number, 63% of the time. That's how you know there's no value on this slate. He's separating from the pack. Now, I expect him to start, but I'm not sure of it yet. So I only gave him 28 minutes. I think that number could easily be 30 or 32, at which point he's going to look even better. Now, call it 1.05 fantasy points per minute. That same amazing matchup against Sacramento. He's just not priced for what he's going to have to do. He's priced to have the minutes as the backup point guard to Elfrid Payton. Now he's not likely the backup, and I expect him to play a ton. Immanuel QUICKLEY is unquestionably the number one value play on the slate so long as he starts today. He's a value play on this slate no matter what if he doesn't. But once we get the information that he's starting, Immanuel QUICKLEY is the clear-cut number one option on DraftKings. No doubt about it. You can't go a different direction. He's the first guy in a cash game. Bar none, have to have him. Immanuel QUICKLEY, the number one contender. Alrighty, folks, that will do it. Those are my NBA DFS contenders on DraftKings for Thursday, February 25th. I'm on the strategy show. I'm on live before lock. I've got office hours in our premium Slack at 1 p.m., so join me for that if you are a sub. And if you're not a sub, come sign up, awesemo.com/join. It's going to be a good one. Anything you want to know from me is going to be available today. Many, many hours of Josh. That should be the greatest thing that anybody else could possibly want. We're back tomorrow to close out the week with another edition of the Contenders. Good luck tonight, everybody.